Hey, Tommy from the Run Testers. I am in London today for the big half. It's the second time I've done it. I did it last year, really enjoyed it. This year is looking to be surprisingly hot. I thought it was going to be raining today, but it's actually looking like it's going to get up to mid-20s by lunchtime. So yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tricky one. I'm hoping to get sub 130, probably 127, 128 if I'm lucky. But who knows in the heat. I've not done a half marathon for quite a while. Definitely not a good half marathon for half a while. So I'm going to be testing, I'm here with New Balance, so I'm going to be testing the SC Elite V5, which I haven't raced in at all, barely running it actually. And then I'm going to also be testing a couple of bits of New Balance kit. This Ultra t-shirt, race t-shirt, which is a lightweight race t-shirt, and then these Ultra shorts, which you can't really see there, but I'll put a cutaway in the main video. And these are very light, small shorts. And I don't normally wear shorts this small, so we'll see how it goes. Looking forward to it, but a bit worried that it's going to start getting pretty toasty in a bit, and I'm going to get a bit hot. So right, I'll head to the start line and talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, that is done. I'm in Greenwich Park now. I've finished. It did not go as planned. It was very hard, but I did enjoy it. I've got to rush to the hotel now to have a shower before I check out. So I'll do the video after I've done that. Right, speak to you in a bit. Okay, so that was a bit of a mad rush to get to my hotel before I was meant to check out and get showered. But all done now, and I'm actually back home now because I had to head off to this event and I had to get the train back to London. So yeah, the big half 2025. I really like this event. I've done it. This is the second time I've done it now, and it is. I was really surprised the first time I did it because I've done London Marathon a few times and I'd heard that it was the first part of the London Marathon, which is generally the part that I don't enjoy very much. But in reality, it's actually a really nice route. It's not the same as the first half as the London Marathon. You go around Canary Wharf, but you sort of double back on yourself a slightly different route than you do on the London Marathon. And then you come in and you finish at Cutty Sark. And it's really, really well supported route. It's a really nice route as well. There's lots of long sections in it. There are other races around like landmarks, which is actually quite windy. There's a lot of U-turns in landmarks. There aren't too many in this, so you can really pick up a nice pace. And we got quite lucky with the weather as well. I say we got lucky with the weather. We got a really nice day, but it was a very hot day as well. And I was sort of hoping it was going to be under 20 degrees, but I think it got over 20 degrees by the time I'd finished because I was really, really struggling in the heat as it got to the final bits. But a little bit, let's talk about the race first. So the big half marathon takes place in September every year. It does use some of the London Marathon course, but it's not. The race isn't that similar to the London Marathon. It finishes in Cutty Sark. It's a really, really well organised race. It's a really nice route. The course itself, or the route, is a tricky one. I think generally you probably assume that that would be fairly flat, but there are some harder sections. There's definitely a few bits that I found to be quite tricky. The first bit is the tunnel at 3.5k, where you basically go into this really long tunnel and you go down for quite a while. You pick up a lot of pace. Your watch isn't sure how fast you're going because you're underground, so it's quite difficult to gauge how fast you're going, and you're excited because you're early on. But then you've got to come out of it, and then you run back up out of this this tunnel, and then that's when it starts to get a little bit tougher, because you've got that hill there. When you're in Canary Wharf, there are a few little climbs that are quite tricky, and eventually when you come out of that area, there is around 10.5 kilometers. There is a cobbled section which is a bit tricky. You have to keep your eye on the ground to make sure that you don't hit any of the larger cobbles. So there's a few bits that are a bit tricky. Some of the best bits: Tower Bridge is absolutely fantastic to go across, as you can imagine. Cutty Sark and going into Greenwich is a fantastic finish to any race. London Marathon starts there, but as a finish, I think it works a lot better as a finish, because you get to come out, and Greenwich is absolutely heaving, and you get to go into Greenwich Park, and they have a little festival there for the big half. It's really, really nice. Marshalling was fantastic. Water stations were great. It was a really well organised day, and it seemed like everybody was having a lot of fun. So when it comes to my race, so I've done this before. I did this last year, and I didn't do particularly well last year, but I wasn't very fit last year, so I was basically using it as a marathon pace run for Valencia Marathon, which I had a couple of months later in December, and I really enjoyed it. And I think I ended up with like 1:35 or something like that. But the weather was spot on. It was pretty much perfect last year. Not too hot, not really sunny. This year it was very hot, a lot hotter than I thought it would be. So I was looking at the weather before, a few days before, and it looked like it was going to be pretty cloudy and not too hot, but it really picked up on the day. So we started at 8:30 in the morning, and by the time we got to about 9:30, which is where I was about 15k in, it was really starting to heat up quite a bit. And I ran the first 10k pretty fast. I was almost at 40-minute for the 10k, for the first 10k, so I felt pretty good. But around the 8 to 10k mark, it really started to hit me, a combination of the heat picking up, and the fact that I don't have the endurance training at the moment to maintain that pace as well as I used to. So I took it down a notch, and then the last 10k, I was just ploughing through, trying to get to the end, because my heart wasn't in it, and I was struggling a little bit as in the heat. So yeah, but I really enjoyed it. The crowds are fantastic. There's lots of people cheering. A lot of people said hi, so thank you very much for that. But it's a really great event to do, and I'd definitely say it is one of, if not my favourite London-based races that you can take part in. And there's quite a few now, but I think that's probably the nicest start and finish for me out of all of the London races. Right, let's look at the kit that I was using. So I was invited down to do the big half by New Balance, who have an event on, or had an event on this year for, it's called the Set Pace Cafe, and it was quite an impressive event actually. You went along, and they had coffee, they had food, they had lots of interesting things going on, activities, and a really nice sorbet as well that I tried. But Morton were down there, so you could try some gels, and they were doing some printing on t-shirts and other bits of kit. So it was a really nice event. There was loads of people that went down there. Loads of run crews joined New Balance to come and do the big half, because it's a big community race. And yeah, so because of doing it with New Balance, I used the New Balance SE Elite V5 shoe. Now this is the first time that I've raced in this shoe. I've only actually ran in it before the big half twice, and both have been quite short. I've done a 5k in this around my house. I did a 5k yesterday, which was the shakeout run with New Balance. So this was the first time I've ran at pace in this shoe. Now last year I used the SE Elite V4. I thought that shoe was fine. I think the SE Elite V4 works well because it ticked a lot of boxes for people who wanted an accessible, comfortable carbon plate shoe. It had quite a wide base on it. It was quite soft, and it wasn't very aggressive, so you could go out for a run in that and feel quite comfortable, but you weren't. But it made it accessible to people who maybe weren't used to wearing quite aggressive carbon plate shoes. For me, it was a very nice shoe to wear, but I did find that it didn't really push me forward very much, and it wasn't the sort of carbon plate shoe that I would probably use for a PB attempt or something like that. Even though it was very nice to run in, I didn't really sit with some of the other carbon plate shoes when it came to propulsion and bounce and energy return. It just felt more on that accessibility side. The SE Elite V5 has changed a few things, so it's a bit more narrow, it's a bit lighter, it's a little bit more aggressive, there's a bit more toe off in it, and as a result it definitely feels like a carbon plate racer that is designed more for chasing PBs up there with a lot of the other complex shoes out that are a bit more aggressive and a bit more propulsive. So what I found during that was the first 10k that I was running in the SC Elite V5. I found it very easy to maintain a nice, consistent, fast pace, which for me, I was working trying to stay below 4-minute kilometers, but some of them I was sort of sitting around 3-minute 50 per kilometer, and it fluctuated a bit when I hit the hills. So by the end of it, I'd sort of averaged out at just below 4-minute kilometers, or just around 4-minute kilometers. Worked very well at that. Felt very nippy, felt very like there was a lot of responsiveness in it. And it felt very easy to maintain that pace, that quicker pace. In the second half, I basically tested it on a much slower marathon pace, so I went down to about 4-minute 30 kilometers for the second half of that half marathon, and it felt fine. I think it felt much more at home in that first half where I was trying to pick up the pace. It's a shoe definitely designed for a little bit more of that faster running, as opposed to taking it down a notch. The S Elite 4 was probably better the other way around. I think it probably worked better if you were maintaining that consistent pace and you wanted something a bit more comfortable, whereas this is a little bit more aggressive, and is designed more for if you're going out on all-out speed. I wouldn't use this for a slow marathon. I think it's definitely a shoe that wants you to run faster. But I wouldn't say it's as aggressive as some of the other complex shoes out there as well. If you compare it with something like the Puma Fast Star 3, I think this is a little bit down when it comes to the aggressiveness of it. I think that shoe definitely feels like a shoe that you can only run fast in. There's a little bit more to this. I'd also say that even though it's a bit narrower, it still feels like a relatively stable shoe. Which is a selling point, which similar to what you get with like the Brooks Hyperion Elite 5. So it ticks quite a few boxes, but I definitely think it's a shoe now in comparison to the SC Elite 4, which is more focused on all-out speed, with a few other benefits you get from it as well. So pretty impressed with the SC Elite V5. Interested to try it over a park run, because most of my fast training comparisons are done at park run at the moment. So I'll probably try this out this weekend at park run. The only other things that I was testing as well today, I had some of these New Balance RC Ultra shorts, split shorts. So I don't normally wear shorts this small for races. Normally I wear my Soar shorts that have got these liners in, but I gave these a go today. Very comfortable. They very, very thin material, and they've got sort of like they've got the split in them. Maybe a bit too short for me. These are 3-inch, and I don't normally go for 3-inch, but definitely needed today in the heat. There's not much really to talk about them, apart from there are some inner pockets in here which I used for a couple of gels. There's no liner in these apart from a normal pant liner, so you don't get anything to protect your legs. There's no compression or anything like that, but they are very nice, lightweight, comfortable. Didn't have any issues with them at all. Solid shorts, the RC Ultra shorts from New Balance. And the top I really like, so I've actually got a couple of versions of this. I've got a London Marathon one. This is the Ultra running t-shirt. It's made by this really lightweight material, so it's quite thin, and it's got these sort of perforations across the fabric. To be honest, I took this out when I was heading up to London on Friday without realising how hot it was going to be on Sunday, and I probably wish I would have worn a vest, because wearing a black t-shirt is not the best thing to wear when it's hot and sunny. But what I did find is that even though I was probably a little bit warmer than I wanted to be because I wasn't wearing a vest, I got very wet and very sweaty in the first half of the 10k, and when I slowed down into the second half, it did dry off very, very quickly. I was checking the front of it, and it did feel quite dry by the time I actually finished. So it's very, and I know this from because I've tested this out a few times before as well. It's very good at drying quickly, so well worth picking up if you want something that wicks the sweat away as quick as possible. So yeah, that was all that I tested along with my SC Elite V5s today. So that was it for me from the Big Half 2025. Great race, really like it. Definitely would be up for doing it again next year, because it's just a great day out in London, and I used to live in London. I don't anymore, so it's nice to come up for races every now and then. But the Big Half's definitely one that seems to be growing even more in popularity as one of the big London races, so well worth doing if you fancy a half marathon. Well done to everyone who did it, and thank you to everyone who came to say hello. There are quite a few of you that came to say hello to me, and a big thank you to Run the Boroughs as well, who took out all the people that went along to the New Balance Set Pace Cafe on a big shakeout run at the start, and I spoke to loads of them. Really, really nice to find out more about the run club and what they are doing. Right, thanks a lot for watching this race test. Catch you next time.